How's it going, everybody? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. I didn't think I would be here today. I got the day off of work, so super stoked about that. I could watch some Blue Jays baseball. We got double barrel action today. We got the Jays against the Rays, which will not be televised, but we do have the Jays against the Braves, which will be on Sportsnet for those of you that want to tune in. Unfortunately, the better lineup is probably in the Rays game that we won't be able to see on TV, but still a couple of good matchups here on this Thursday, and we're very glad for each and every one of you that can make it.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to make it today, Peter. I like the previews duos. What's up, Lion, Owen, New Brunswick Gaming, Mike, Maury, Nick? It's gonna be an interesting day today. Obviously, there's two games. So we have a lot to keep up on personally, so we can do our game recap with two of them. And like you said, let's just get into the lineup previews, and then we'll go from there. There's two lineup previews to cover total. Well, four, I guess, total, but we'll go with the Blue Jays one first, which is I have both of them up here for you. So again, the Blue Jays versus Braves is televised. The Jays versus Rays is not televised. And so George Springer, Biggio, Chapman, Jansen, Espinal, Lucas, Capra, Britton, Alo, and Kevin Gosman. And then with the Rays, you have, like you said, the better lineup, or the more exciting lineup at least, with Kiermaier, Bichette, Merrifield, Vershow, Barger, Bernard, Brantley, Nunez, and Robertson. So unfortunately, Barger won't be televised, along with Vershow as well. But what are your thoughts on, I guess, the lineup for either one, starting with the Braves, which of course Kevin Gosman takes the hill for the Braves and Casey Lawrence takes the hill for the Rays?
Yeah, exactly. At least we're going to get to see Kevin Gosman in action. I want to see how he bounces back after his first start there. He had a little bit of a tough time. He was not very efficient with his pitches, so we'll see how he does today. But the Rays lineup is definitely a lot more exciting. I mean, Bo Bichette is in there. He's had a very hot spring. Dalton Varsho is starting to figure it out at the plate, and I know I've seen a lot of Gabriel Moreno circulating on Twitter, how he's hitting bombs. I hate doing that when trades are made. I hate looking back and preying on, players that we traded away on their downfall. I don't like that. I think Gabriel Moreno is going to be a very good player in this league, but I also think Dalton Varsho is going to be a fantastic add to this lineup for at least the next 4 years. And I still think right now he's a much better player than Moreno and much more useful to the Toronto Blue Jays team as they're constructed. So let's enjoy the player that we have right now. Let's wish Gabriel Moreno all the success in the world in Arizona, but I'm very happy with the team that the Jays have right now.
Yeah, we're not. It's not like we're gonna be seeing Moreno too much, anyways, and hopefully not in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
they do have a pretty competitive team, and Moreno has been hitting the ball very well. But again, here's a quick final look, and again, we'll be covering both of them in the post game video. I guess specifically, we'll probably be focusing more on the televised game, but we'll do as much as we can to cover the non televised game on the radio as well. We have a couple questions here. If we could sign Jurickson Profar to a 1 or 2 year deal, that's pretty cheap. Would you want for a fourth outfielder? Yeah, I mean, if we could get him under the cap, I don't know how close we are to that under the luxury tax that is, but I wouldn't mind Jurickson Profar. He's obviously playing for a job in the WBC right now, but
Well, I think he's gotten a lot of offers. There's no way that he hasn't. It's just that he played 150 plus games last year, and I don't think there's a team right now that he wants to go to that's offering him 150 plus games. So I think he's waiting it out, and he also wants quite a lot of money. He had a good season last year. I think he had like a 3.2 wins above replacement, which is very solid.
we
And
got a super chat.
he's looking for a starting job. He's looking for a starting job.
Mike Nolis with 10 euros, that is. Thank you very much. He says, nah, I'd rather Gosman pitch. Let's go lineup one. Went through Manoah pitch sequences yesterday. He's executing brilliantly, but I thought the changeup was a bit overused. Yeah, he was using his changeup a lot. He was using his sliders a lot, and his sliders were absolutely insane yesterday, as I covered in the solo recap. I know Peter missed the game, and honestly, Peter, you didn't miss very much. They were no hit through the first like
Yeah,
five
I
innings
heard.
until Berger broke it up. So it was a good one for you to miss. Nothing really happened, but thank you again, Mike. We appreciate it, and we
Yeah,
appreciate your
thank
continued
you.
support. We'll pop up the super chat for you one more time. And yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said. He did pitch very solid though yesterday. Almost got through 4 innings, but ultimately gave up a run. But thanks again, Mike. And the AL is wide open. Rodon went on the IL today, and we will get into that in a second as well. But first, I'll pop up the lineup for the Braves and the Rays here. So this is the Braves lineup, the televised game. Orlando Arcia, Forrest Wall, Eli White, Sam Hilliard, Joe Dunner, Luke Waddell, Yolmer Sanchez, Joe Hudson, and Cal Conley. So not the most firepower-filled lineup. And then Spencer Strider, which is their unbelievable pitcher, which is going to be a good test for our hitters tonight.
Yeah, they've faced him in the spring actually, and he looked pretty good against them, like
Yep.
he does against pretty much any other lineup in the majors. So yeah, Spencer Strider's a good test for Springer to get into midseason form to try to ramp up his workload there. It's also a good test for Kevin Biggio, who's been swinging a hot bat but struggles against velocity. So I'm excited to see how he does against Spencer Strider. Look, I mean, both games have some exciting storylines here, and I'm going to be tuning into both of them, or as much as I can into the Rays one, following the box score at least. I don't think the Rays have a broadcast that we could find on a streaming platform or anything, but
Not
that's the way it
televised.
goes in spring training. This won't be a problem in the regular season, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, well, I will definitely be looking at the box score while we watch the big game, which is the Braves. Even though the lineups are a bit interesting, but Mike says, "Nah, thanks to you guys, help me understand baseball." Well, thank you for tuning in. It's I'm glad we can help you. Chuck saying Forrest Wall did used to be one of the Rockies' best progress. Lionheart saying my mustache is nicer. Interesting. And let's get into the Rays lineup here now, which is you have Lowe,
Can't
Manuel
even
Mar.
see that.
It's probably small for you, but Lowe, Manuel Wango, Brendan Lau, Mead, Raleigh, Siri, Jones, Pinto, Robertson, and Molina. Not Cal Raleigh, I almost mixed up there. So a few regulars in Lowe and Margot and Molina pitching. But again, this one's not televised or nothing too crazy there. I'm curious to see how. I
Mhm.
mean, I guess Casey Lawrence does like against that lineup. I don't know who is even scheduled to pitch in that game, and I don't. I'm sure I could find him. I'm not sure
It's
who's. Go ahead.
who's pitching for the Rays over there?
Molina. Molina.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
They got poor Peter. They got him stuck in the closet. I'm in my room. I'm in my room right now.
but
My
again,
room's not a closet. It's
final
decent.
final look here on the Blue Jays lineup before we move on to the next topic here now. And yeah, so Springer, Biggio, Chapman, and I highlight that lineup with Kevin Kiermaier, Bichette, Merrifield. And it's the first time there's a doubleheader this spring where both lineups are good, because last time the
Hmm.
away lineup was really bad, and one of them was stacked, which I was kind of hoping was the case. But I would have loved to see Vershow in the Kevin Gosman lineup. Richie's saying Rez feeling low today. They are, yeah, they are indeed. You can have a look right here. I believe he's playing. I can't even see, but he's this is
It's
the only.
not. It's not Brandon. It's not Brandon Lau though. It's their center fielder. I think it's
They have two
Nate Lau.
Laos. Yeah, they have two.
Yeah, it's Nate Lau,
It
their
says
center
B though.
fielder.
It says B, but either way,
Does it?
it
Does it?
does. Yeah,
Okay.
it does say B.
Oh,
They
okay. I
didn't
didn't know he
release.
was healthy.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
didn't
know
know he
either. They
was
didn't even
healthy.
release the lineup
Yeah.
on their Twitter. They literally just released it in someone at the stadium got that picture. But let's move on
Jesus.
to the rapid fire question. I feel like we haven't seen Zuleta in a bit. He was supposed to pitch yesterday. I'm not quite sure what happened to that, and very interesting. Wondering why the worst lineup game is being televised. I think, I mean, they choose what games are televised before the lineups are out. But I guess John Snyder put the better lineup with the Rays. When can we expect Vladdy to start playing games again? I'd say next week. But anyways,
He's
rapid
already
fire
hitting in
question.
the cage.
He
Yeah,
is, yeah,
he's already
hitting in the
hitting in the
cage.
cage, and he's able to go to the World Baseball Classic if someone gets injured for the Dominican Republic. So he's healthy enough to play, but I think they're just being cautious at this stage right now.
I agree, and make sure to hit the like button if you're enjoying the daily at this point spring training streams. We've been really enjoying it, and they won't stop. But Peter, what is your rapid fire question for
Hmm.
today and for the chat here now? And I'll pop up the lineup to let you. You can do either game. Rapid fire question. What's your first one?
All right. If you were, I'm going to go off the board here. If you were starting a football team and you had to pick a quarterback and you had to pick someone from the Blue Jays to quarterback that team, who would it be?
That's a great question. I'll let the chat answer that as well. A quarterback from a player on the Blue
I
Jays.
got mine. I got mine. I feel like
Some,
it's a lot more straightforward than you think.
I mean, it could be a pitch. You're probably a pitcher, you'd assume, right?
Could
So
be anyone.
I was gonna go with Matt Chapman. So I'm just gonna go with Matt Chapman. I feel like he'd be a good QB.
That's a good one. I'm going Kevin Kiermaier.
I was also
That's
gonna
my
go. Yeah,
pick.
that was my second one.
Yeah,
Dalton
Kevin
Varsho.
Kiermaier is my
I think
pick.
Varsho would be a good running back, but
Good. Yeah. Yes. That's very good. Okay. Yeah. So who would be your wide receiver on the Jays then?
someone said Jordan Romano. That is a great one as well. Two Romanos. Romano is that is a
That's good.
Addison
That's a
Berger.
good
He would be a linebacker.
one.
Wide
True.
receiver. Healthy. Probably Kevin Kiermaier or Dalton Varsho. Chapman, Springer. Hey guys, what's up,
Springer would
Fluffy?
be my wide receiver,
Yeah,
I think.
healthy George Springer was what he was gonna say, but
Yeah.
we'll move on to the next one now, which I'll tie it back to the game. I'll say Manoa just because Manoa would be a phenomenal one actually. Manoa's probably the best answer now that I think about it, though he's pretty big for he's pretty strong for a
Yeah, I don't know about
quarterback.
the mobility. Like
Yeah,
I like a guy that can scramble out of the pocket, and who better than Kevin Kiermaier? He's got a cannon too.
Chapman got hands. Kevin Kiermaier, if he was in his prime, would be great. Kevin Kiermaier, completely agree. Springer wide receiver. Bo Bichette for wide receiver. I like
That's a
that
good
one.
one.
I like that one. We'll move back into the game now. Pretty simple one for us today. Kevin Kiermaier over under 4 strikeouts. Over under. I guess over 4.5 strikeouts will be the line for today. Over under 4.5 strikeouts. We're expecting him to go
So he's got to get
3
5.
innings. Yeah.
So he's got to get 5. I'm gonna go under.
Okay. So will Gosman get 5 or more strikeouts? Is another way to put that.
The Atlanta game is being televised, Chuck. That's on Sports
Line
Center.
up on the left, Chuck, is the game being
Yeah.
televised. And do you think Gosman gets over or 5 or more strikeouts today? We're expecting him to go three innings. Tight end Manoa. Very, very true. How are you
That's a
guys
good
today?
one.
Fluffy,
That's
we're
a good
great.
one.
It's Jays baseball day. Finally, the Jays offense has been in a slump, so we're hoping it bounces back.
Okay, so my final rapid fire question for you guys and for you, Nick, is who takes that final roster spot for position players for you?
I got mine immediately as Otto Lopez. That is my answer.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. Otto Lopez, absolutely. He's been killing it with the bat, hitting balls the other way, and he looked really good yesterday with Team Canada in their tune-up game against the Chicago Cubs. And I'm gonna ask you guys: do you guys want to see some World Baseball Classic coverage? Because I'll be following the tournament extensively. So let me know if you guys want me to recap Canada's games, or maybe just go on live stream for a little bit and recap what's been going on in the tournament.
Over Love Gaza Splitter. Over Otto. Yup. I'd like to watch Bo, but can never go wrong with a Gauzy bump. Gauzy bump. I don't know why I said that so weird. Otto, yeah, Otto is definitely I think Otto has to be the answer. And I wonder who else is. I don't think anyone else has really ran away with it unless they go with like Addison Barger.
I mean, Capper's got to be in the mix. He's been playing very well, and I heard Blair and Barker on the podcast today. They were talking about who has a chance for that final roster spot. So it was between Nathan Lucas at the moment. It was Nathan Lucas, Otto Lopez, Addison Barger, and Vinny Capper was the other name.
I believe it.
Although, I think Vinny Capra
I don't
is
think he
very
makes it.
versatile. He's a very smart player, but I don't think he makes it either. I think Otto Lopez is just the best hitter out of all 4 of them right now. So I think it's his job to lose.
They do want World Baseball Classic content, so Peter, you'll be able to do some live streams for it. Do some live
There you
streams
go.
for the WBC. I think live streams are the best
There
way
you
to
go.
go for WBC stuff, so that way they don't mix
Yeah,
up
I
with our
think so
game
too.
recaps with the
Hmm.
Jays. So and plus there'll be a lot to talk about. So we'll for sure, Peter, and I'll be able to make some as well, especially for the World Canada game or the Canada games.
Have you seen any of the games,
No,
Nick?
I've been
Okay, dude. Yesterday,
I saw highlights of yesterday's
man.
game. I saw highlights. It looked
The
unbelievable. Yeah,
the Australia versus Korea game, that might have been
it came
one
back.
of the best games I've ever seen.
Yeah,
It was just nuts.
I
It was
saw
nuts.
highlights and then I wish I would have been able to catch it. Trying to get into a bunch of jams, but they finally blew it. Yeah, we'll bring you some live streams. You guys have been loving the streams anyway, so may as well continue those. Lopez is
Doesn't
versatile.
hurt.
Exactly, and is a speed option off the bench. Not a terrible guy to have. Yeah, I just don't think there's a better option unless they make an external move. So everyone
Mike,
agrees
that's
with
not happening.
Otto.
It's not happening, Mike. That's not happening.
Well, if it does happen, that'll be a very, very fun stream. But I guess how old is Otto Lopez? Adam asks.
I think he's 24. I think
That
he's
sounds
24 or
right. That sounds
25.
right. That sounds
Yeah.
right.
I'm gonna check. Let me fact
Sure.
check
And
that.
while you're checking, I'll move on to the third topic, which is one of our favorite topics here, which is bold predictions. And waiting for Canada versus UK Saturday, right? Is it Sunday?
Sunday
line.
Sunday. Yeah.
It's I think it starts an hour and a half after the Jays game. So I think the plan is we'll have our pregame stream, postgame recap, video, and then Peter will go live later on in the night to recap the Canada versus.
He's 24.
Perfect, you're
He's
right.
24.
So that's probably
Gonna
the
be
plan. Lots of
25
content
this season.
Sunday because I have
Yeah.
basketball. So.
Mhm.
All right. So bold predictions, Peter. Give me your bold prediction, 1 or 2 for today's game. You can go on either side of the game here of the board, and let us know your bold predictions in the chat as well. I don't think anyone got one right yesterday, but that wasn't really their fault. The Jays barely got any hits. So
I don't know. I don't know if I should go with this one, but
Say it.
okay. In the Rays game, I'll go. Bo Bichette goes 3 for 3.
Okay.
I don't know if that's is that bold.
A little bit, a little bit bold.
Okay, 3 for 3 with 2 extra base hits.
Okay,
That's what I'll go with.
okay.
That's bold. That's bold enough. And then in the Atlanta Jays game, I'm gonna go. Zach Britton makes 2 errors in right field.
You're just riding the air wave. That is very bold, especially for both of those to happen. Is very, very bold. Let us know your bold predictions in the chat. I'm gonna keep riding it. So I'm gonna go with a Vershaw home run, Berger home run, and a Nathan Luke's another clock violation. That's my.
Okay.
I know it
Okay.
won't happen because he's probably super paranoid about it now. But we're gonna go with a Vershaw and Berger bomb, the Nathan Lucas clock error. Or I'll just say I'll make it slightly less bold. I'll say some sort of clock error against the Blue Jays today. That's what I'll say. Whether it's
Okay.
pitcher or hitter.
All right.
Bold prediction: Manoah goes to the Yankees. That is a very bold prediction. Borderline impossible. Springer
No,
leadoff dinger.
I think he's saying he hits three Yankees hitters by playing against the Yankees.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that's what he means.
Yeah.
I mean that they're not playing the Yankees, but maybe next time.
Line. Springer leadoff dinger. I was on that train yesterday, and he went 0 for 3 again. So I'll let you take that. I'll let you take that Springer leadoff dinger today. Though I've ridden the Vershaw train the whole past 5 streams we've had. So we're gonna keep going with it. Jenna goes deep and throws at a runner. Berger double. I feel like that's like a very good bold prediction. That's like could happen, but still pretty bold. Jenna bomb.
Owen here saying, Peter, we need an Otto Lopez reunion. I don't know if I ever told that story. Did I?
Probably if Owen knows.
Okay, well, I'll just refresh all you guys that are in here. When I was 9 years old, I played on this fall baseball team, and my coach at the time was Otto Lopez's cousin. Okay, so he was a little bit older, obviously, but I played with his son on the same team, so he's cousins with Otto Lopez. So he brings his cousin one practice, this 13-year-old kid who played in the same association, but obviously he was a little bit older than me. He said, "Okay, we got to get ready for the tournament, so I want you guys to face this kid." So he's 13 years old. He doesn't even have baseball cleats on. He's wearing slides, and he's on the mound. So he goes, doesn't even warm up. He just throws 83 miles an hour right down the chute. And I'm 9 years old, keep in mind. I've never seen a pitch over probably 65 miles an hour. So, yeah, that was the first time I really got scared on the baseball field. And that turned out to be Otto Lopez. I only found that out years later when Otto was playing in the major leagues with Toronto. So pretty cool story
It'll
there.
come full circle when he
Mhm.
if we can get him on the Jays Digest
That'd be
channel
cool.
someday, come full circle. But hit the like button for
Yeah.
Peter's story. Hit it, and I'll put the flames on for a little bit. Gosman strikes out the side. Higher or lower odds that Chappie's a J next season? I'd say they're 40%. So I would take the lower than 50. I would say around. It's probably lower than that, but I think 30 to 40 is a pretty fair odds if you're going with like
Yeah.
I guess out of 100. Jano steals a base and throws out a runner from a cheat. I think he might throw out a runner. There's a lot more base stealing attempts. That's crazy. It is a small world.
You
It
too,
is
Lionheart.
It is. Yeah, Lionheart, enjoy the game. I'm glad you're enjoying the streams. It's turning out to be one of my favorite things to do. It's like a routine now. It's just to get on the pregame streams. It's gonna be interesting when spring training ends and games aren't 2:30 every day. We're gonna have to be doing them in the night.
I think that'll be easier though. I think
Probably.
because right now we kind of have to shuffle things around during the day, like
Yeah.
and with work and everything. Like I had to call work off today just because I wanted to
had
be here and I
nothing.
wanted to watch Jays baseball. So that
2
was the most
games, too.
important thing for me today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be easier, I think, when the games are at 7 Eastern time.
Yeah.
We'll have our pregame show at like 6:15.
Yeah, we were discussing
maybe.
that yesterday after you left. I think we're gonna do it,
Yeah.
just like right before Blue Jays Central, and even if we leak a bit into it and then just cut it off, I think that's probably what the chat wanted there. But we'll figure it out and we'll.
And there's no
Well,
commercials here either. So it's,
Exactly, no
a little
commercials.
bit better than Jason.
No long commercials, at least. I don't think there's any ads in these streams. There might be a couple, but it's a small
Maybe.
world. Let's just get into the chat Q&A. Got to get back to work. Thanks, guys. Maury, thank you for tuning in. This is if I'm not in the stream, then those 30 minutes before the game feel like 3 hours. Streams make it seem like 5 minutes. That is the goal. That was the goal, because obviously, like me personally, before Blue Jays Central, I guess obviously there's no Blue Jays Central now, but waiting for the game to start, especially big games, were like boring. I just wanted to watch someone cover him, and Blue Jays Central obviously provides a bit of a more on the field action. We're analyzing from a third party, but we're more interactive with the chat there. But any chat Q&As, questions, we're around 5 minutes from first pitch. We'll wrap up in a couple minutes here. Anything else you want to say, Peter, before we wrap up? Again, I'll pop up the lineups for you all one last time. Honestly, there wasn't too much to talk about in the lineups or for this game, simply because the lineups we're playing against are both pretty weak, and we have our split lineup. So our lineup will be exciting, but it's going to be interesting to cover both games at once for us.
Yeah, super excited for these live streams. I mean, yeah, that was the goal, and Nick and I, we discussed it. We said, wouldn't it be cool to have something pregame? Have people maybe develop a routine before a Jays game. Like, I know my routine is to always watch Blue Jays Central, and that's what I've been doing before every Jays game when I can catch them. So, if we can provide that routine for you guys, then that's just awesome. You guys tune in to us before the game, and I never thought I'd be saying that, but I guess we're your go-to for Blue Jays coverage.
Yes, and we do appreciate it, and that is a great point. Or Matthew Vento saying there's no better way to start or to wait for the game than to watch Jays Digest. That's the goal. Thank you so much, Matthew. And Mantis, welcome to the stream. I did have that screenshot ready, and you just reminded me, so may as well get it up. I completely forgot to put it up. Brian Cashman says that the Carlos Rodon will start the season on the injured list alongside Carlos Rodon, Tommy Canley, and Lou Trevino. Health was the biggest concern with the Yankees pitching staff coming out from the offseason, and now everyone understands why. So if any of you in the chat want to have some input on that, and Peter, I'll ask you as well. AL East is wide open, at least to start the year, and if the Jays can get off to a hot start and then run with it, we saw it last year, the Yankees did it, maybe it's more open than we thought.
Yeah, it's very important that the Jays get off to a hot start, and they did last year. But you saw how hot the Yankees got in the middle of the season there, and then they kind of just ran away with the division. So the Jays need to start off on the right foot. They can't let the close games pass them by. They can't have any bullpen meltdowns like they did last year, and they just got to get a hot start and take a big lead in the division and take advantage of those Yankees pitchers that are hurt right now. I mean, Carlos Rodon was their prized acquisition, and now he's going to be sidelined for God knows how long to start the season. So that'll help the Blue Jays in their quest of the AL East. Frankie Montas is going to be out for a big period of time. Their bullpen is not what it used to be. No more Chad Green, no more Aroldis Chapman. So now they're relying on guys like Tommy Canley and Lou Trevino
and
to stay healthy, and they're not. And Loaizica, I mean, he's okay, but he's not been a dominant arm that they were hoping for out of him. So we'll see, but the Jays got to start hot, and they got to figure out their offense right away and their pitching.
Yeah, and like Chuck said, the bullpen is the best it's been in years and way better than it was last year. So hopefully some of those close games that we lost early in the season last year, we'll able to hold those down. Is there any designation? Is it the 10-day IL? I think right now it's the 10-day IL, if I remember correctly. I don't think there's too much info on the Carlos Rodon thing. MLB trade set MRI. That's good. Honestly, I wish the best for Carlos Rodon, though, all the same. Obviously, it's not on the Yankees, but I want to see him pitch. It's going to be exciting. I don't want any of the talents in baseball going down.
I mean, he's very good, and last year was his first season where he didn't battle significant injuries. Yeah. He's always had shoulder issues, and he's always spent time on the DL every now and then. But, he earned his money. He was very good last year. He was a top 5 pitcher in all of baseball. And I expect no different when he is healthy and on the field for the Yankees. But if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And, the Jays can't prey on other teams' injuries to try and make a World Series run. I think they're good enough to make a World Series run, and they got to get used to playing against the best.
I agree, and that's kind of the main thing. Either way, the Jays need to get off to a hot start. We have the team for it. It's just we need everyone to come together at once, and we'll wrap it up now. First pitch is about to start. I'll quickly read off a couple of final bold predictions. Someone said that I think Manuel Beltre gets an at-bat in the non-televised game from Calvin Trotman, and Rob Blantley goes yard for something new. So Calvin will come back to those once the game is over. But that'll wrap up the stream. First pitch is about to happen. I know you all want to go watch it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It means a lot, and thank you, Mike, again for the donation. And we'll be back with you tomorrow, usual time, and we'll see you in tonight's post-game video as well.